This podcast is a Radio Mike original production. Head to radiomike.com.au to find out more. Hey guys, it's Mike here, the guy from the podcast. This is a special bonus episode. We don't usually do episodes on Friday. This is just a little bonus that is kind of like an appendage to the episode I did with Jack Post. Jack has, as if you've heard that episode, you'd know Jack has not read the Harry Potter books, and he had just finished watching all the movies for the first time. So he had heaps of questions and things he wanted to know more about from the movies and things he didn't understand and things like that. And it was really interesting just to hear Jack's thoughts because I don't know, I feel like it's always interesting. I've always wondered what it would be like to watch the Harry Potter films in order without having read the books, because I feel like there are so many different, just things that didn't get adapted that well or aren't explained that well in the books that in the films that would only sort of be understood if people had read the books first. So this was a really interesting chat. It's about half an hour long, and I'm really keen to do more bonus content on this feed for the podcast as well. And the best way you can support this show is by writing a review on iTunes and just giving us 5 stars and telling your friends. I think a lot of people would really like this pod. I'm finding it really fun doing it, and I hope you're enjoying listening to it. So enjoy this little bonus thing, and let me know at radiomikepod@gmail.com any kind of bonus content you'd like to see that's Harry Potter related. I'm happy to host it here and do anything you guys want and will want to listen to. Cool, enjoy this. 50 years after the events of the final Harry Potter books, and Harry Potter is now headmaster of Hogwarts, ready to usher in a brand new generation of witches and wizards. My name's Radio Mike, and I love Harry Potter. In fact, I love Harry Potter so much that when I was a kid, I wrote an entire series of fan fiction books based on Hogwarts. This is book 1 in that series. Welcome to Harry Potter and the Boys. Hello, Dobby lovers, and welcome to a bonus edition of Harry Potter and the Boys. This is a Harry Potter-based Q&A with Jack Post, someone who has just finished watching all the Harry Potter movies for the first time. So we're just going to talk about them, what you thought, any questions, any plot holes, things you don't understand. Jack's just going to throw them at me. I'm going to answer them.
What did you think of Dobby? I actually thought he was an annoying little bitch, especially when we first meet him. And he's causing havoc for Harry Potter.
You know he's the Malfoy's house elf.
Yeah, I just watched them all.
Well, I think Dobby's kind of cool. He sacrifices himself for Harry in the end.
And and he makes a huge song and dance about... Harry makes a huge song and dance about burying Dobby, right?
Yeah.
Yet in the same movie, Hedwig, his owl, who he's loved and owned for ages, dies, and he's just like, Hedwig died.
Yeah, it is a bit like that.
But Dobby's like, Dobby, I'm going to bury you without magic. I love you.
Have a sock. Let's make a coffin out of socks. Let's put him in a sock. Yeah.
People are dying left, right, and centre who he loves, but he's like, Dobby, we must bury him. I must dig the hole myself.
Yeah. I mean, Dobby's an interesting character who has a much more prominent role in the books.
Yeah.
He appears in a lot of the books, whereas in the movies, he's only in Chamber of Secrets and Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Right.
But in the books, there's a big subplot where Hermione is trying to free house elves from slave labour. She runs an organisation called Spew, which is like, I can't remember what it is, something elvish welfare.
Yeah.
And she tries to get everyone to join it. Not in the books at all, though. So that's interesting.
Not in the movies at all.
Not in the movies
Yeah, because there is definitely a parallel to there's a few you could draw to race and classism in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
With the goblins and the house elves. And
purebloods and mudbloods.
Yeah.
That's all pretty much racism and classism at the very least. But are there any tell me, are there any other things in the movies that didn't quite make sense to you that you want explained, or questions or anything?
I should have definitely thought of some before we started. To be fair, when I recorded the first Harry Potter and the Boys episode, we rolled straight into this. And I used up all my good questions in that last episode.
Oh, no.
You asked me something and I'll tell you if I knew what it meant.
So did you know Mooney, Wormtail, Padfoot and Prongs? The Marauders map?
Yes. Marauders map is another one. Now, in the last podcast, we talked about why don't they just use the time travel all the time. The map, he should have used way more.
Yeah. But do you know who Mooney, Wormtail, Padfoot and Prongs are?
Is Mooney Mad Eye Mooney?
No, no, it's Mad Eye Moody. So Mooney, Wormtail, Padfoot and Prongs are... So Mooney is Professor Lupin. Wormtail is Peter Pettigrew.
Yep.
Padfoot is Sirius Black. And Prongs was Harry's dad.
Oh,
and
Padfoot. Oh, they're all anamorphics or whatever.
Well, Lupin's a werewolf, but the others... So the story in the books is that Lupin was a werewolf when he was a very young boy, and it was up in the air whether he could attend Hogwarts as a student. Yeah, because
they have such a strict safety policy, which you know they don't.
And Dumbledore said no, of course he can come, and then they built the Shrieking Shack. So once a month, when it was a full moon, he could go there to become a werewolf.
Oh,
right?
wow!
That's why it's called the Shrieking Shack.
That's in the books.
That's in the books. Yeah. Oh. So then eventually James, Sirius and Wormtail find out.
I just thought of another thing about the Shrieking Shack, but I'll come back to it. Yeah.
So eventually those three who were friends with Lupin find out or realize he's a werewolf, and they decide, and this is something I've never really liked in the books, they decide at the age of 14 that they're just going to become animaguses, which is listed often as an extremely difficult piece of magic that very talented wizards struggle to do.
I thought it was something they were born with.
No. So you learn how to do it, and you don't choose your animal or anything like that. And it's just in the books, it's like they were just three really talented students, so they were just able, over the course of the year, they were just able to do it. And the idea was if they could become animals, the werewolves only attack humans. They don't attack animals. So they'd all go and hang out in animal form. Right. Yeah.
And then why? So if they chose what they could be.
No, they don't.
Oh, they don't.
It's based on your character.
Right.
Which is why Peter Pettigrew is a mouse.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, because why would you choose the rat?
Yeah.
So what's the backstory of like Ron having the rat the whole time and he just never changed back into human?
Yeah. So Peter Pettigrew lives as a rat. So it sort of explains it in the movies, but basically, Peter Pettigrew has a standoff like thing. Peter Pettigrew betrayed the Potters to Voldemort, and then Sirius Black goes to find him to kill him because he's so angry that he's basically helped murder their friends and betrayed them. And then Pettigrew causes an explosion with magic that kills heaps of muggles, and then he chops his finger off and transforms into the rat. And the thing was, you have to register to be an animagus. Like basically like a car has to be registered. You have to register so people know. But because they did it illegally as students, they never registered. So no one actually knew that they were animagi. Right. And so
is that the plural?
Animagi, yeah. So Peter Pettigrew cut his finger off to look like that was the last remnant of himself in the explosion. And then...
Which they should have done more investigation. Same with when Harry Potter finally dies and they're just like, is he dead? And the mum's like, no, he's all good. Yeah, he's dead. We're really dead. Well done. Good stuff. Like, wouldn't you just come, like always in a cop movie, they'll come and give like one last shot in.
Well, not in a cop movie, in maybe a terrorist movie.
No, the bad guy in a cop movie. Right.
Yeah. Like the cops don't usually do that. Cops tend to not do that, these times, who knows? But and then that's how Sirius was framed for that crime of killing all the muggles, and that's why people believed he was working with Voldemort, right? However, my thing has always been, you may have noticed in movie 4, they have the truth potion. And I always wondered, why in a universe where there is a truth potion, is there even a legal system? Well, is there, like, why do they have trials?
So true. Like, what? Yeah, why did Harry Potter have to go and say he wasn't lying about seeing Voldemort?
Yeah, just give everyone a spoon of truth potions. Like, hey, like, if you're telling the truth, that's fine. And then, like, just, hey, Sirius Black, did you kill all those muggles? No, I swear I didn't. Truth potion? No, I swear I didn't. Okay, well, he's telling the truth, right? Yep. And then Sirius goes to prison for like 13 years for a crime that they literally just have to give him a potion and find out that it's the truth.
All with that whole room of potions, and Snape says, when they go into like build polyjuice, and by the end of it, they freaking love polyjuice. They're polyjuicing up and down all the time. Where are they getting all those potions then? But that doesn't matter. Let's assume they can get them. What I don't like is that nobody seems to know what anything is in the universe, like, before they need it, like the gillyweed to breathe underwater. Like, shouldn't there be a Google or something like,
wizard Google,
like how to breathe underwater, or
magic,
like, just ask anybody, like, why does it have to be buried in a book somewhere? But Snape's got it in his office, and that reoccurs throughout the whole thing, where I feel like there's just more moments where if you were a wizard and you were a wizard every day, you would just know more about the wizarding. Yeah. Like, even like, what's that animal the buckbeak is?
Hippogriff.
Yeah. And they're all like, what is that, Hagrid? It's like, well, I know what a horse is. I know all the things in my realm, so why don't you know all the things in wizarding realm?
Yeah, that's fair.
And every step of the way, like, just get used to, you guys live in a wizard school and magic happens, because every time, like, someone raises someone up, they're like, well, how did he do that? It's the magic, guys. You live in a magic school.
Is that magic? Mum doesn't do that one at home. She
like,
just chops the tomato.
Hagrid, what is that? It's like, it's something magic, guys. Come on. Go to the magic school.
So, like, amazing magical things should just be normal.
Just be more commonplace for you.
Yeah. Did you understand much?
Let me ask you. This is going back to the thing where they pretend Hogwarts is really safe, but it's so super dangerous. And the Shrieking Shack reminded me, maybe it's not in Hogsmeade, but that idea of, like, they go off to Hogsmeade.
Yeah.
In the same year that Harry Potter can't go because he didn't get a permission slip signed by his parents to just go into the town next to Hogwarts, Hogsmeade, is the same year that they put him into the Triwizard tournament where he's like fighting dragons.
The year before, but yeah.
Yeah, but like, isn't that like, but also, you need a permission slip to go into Hogsmeade, but you don't need a permission slip to go and fight dragons.
Yeah, I'll give that one a parlay, because he didn't submit. Like, it was a curse that allowed him to get into the tournament.
Yeah, but still, don't you go
Someone could have just been like, oh, well, obviously you just don't do it. But Dumbledore's like, no, it's a binding contract with the goblet.
Yeah, there's a lot of that binding contract.
And the other thing I think about that is, like, when in Prisoner of Azkaban, like, he doesn't get the note from Uncle Vernon, right?
Yeah.
And Dumbledore and McGonagall are fully aware of Harry's abusive home life. It's like, no, you can't go. It's like, but my uncle won't sign it. He just won't do it. Surely Dumbledore can be like my like foster guardian, like, just to say, yeah, you can go, Harry. It's okay.
Even sending him back to what are they called? The Dudleys, the Dursleys. The Dursleys. Even sending him back there. Like, I know he goes and stays at Ron's sometimes, but wouldn't you just, like, never go back there and you go...
So there's an in-universe explanation for that, which isn't touched on in the films, which is essentially that there is a charm that has been placed on the Dursleys' house by Dumbledore, that essentially the charm, as long as he is underage... it's something like that that place is like a safe house for him.
Until and they did sort of explain that in the part one of the last film, where they're like, as soon as you leave here, they'll know we're moving.
Yeah. So and that's why
where
the Dursleys
Hedwig dies and he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. So like, there is an explanation for that, which is but also the other thing is, like, I'm not sure how the movies communicate this, but like, the reason Harry survives as a baby when Voldemort tries to kill him is because Lily, like, the love of a mother sacrificing for his son is a powerful magic.
Yeah.
And then everyone, like, acts like this is like an unheard of thing, but surely in the history of the universe, a mother has laid her life down for her child, and this is a known thing. Like, do you know what I mean?
It actually kind of implies that everybody else that Voldemort killed didn't love each other.
Yeah, pretty much. But
it goes back to that thing, like, there's too many points in it where nobody knows about stuff that would just be common knowledge, or at least talked about, like the theory of, like, oh, you can do this. Like, even when they learn about Polyjuice Potion, no, they didn't know about it. Hermione told them about it. Wouldn't that be one of the first things you tell your friends, is like, oh, there's a way, like, it's hard to do, but there's a way we can just, like, be there.
Pretend to be Dumbledore and go to all these parties and shit.
And then...
all the Dumbledore parties, we can pretend to be him.
And that goes to, like, there's too many, and I guess this is just for the story to always keep the mystery going, or, like, throw people off the scent of what the real story is. But they just don't explain to each other enough. Like, Dumbledore's always talking in mystery to him.
Yes.
Like, what would it kill you to just tell Harry the plan? Like, hey, this is how we're going to do it.
Yeah, that's one of the main gripes a lot of fans have, which is that Dumbledore is always unnecessarily ambiguous with Harry. And it's like, oh, Dumbledore must have wanted me to find out for myself. And it's like, Dumbledore, you could have told me from the start about the Horcruxes and stuff like that. Like,
just even little things like this, like the snitch, like you can, like, the snitch is going to have messages in it. Like, put it up to your mouth because that's how you caught it when you first got it.
Instead of I open at the close. It's like, Dumbledore's deliberate ambiguity is a very annoying thing.
Even actually going back to the Peter Pettigrew thing and where they want to kill Wormtail, right? When they first meet Sirius Black, and as a viewer, you think Sirius Black is still the bad guy.
Yes.
He wakes up. And he's like, we got to kill him. Only one person dies tonight. They don't.
So
at any stage.
Like, hey, Harry, I need to tell you something.
Exactly. Just go like, hey, guys, this is going to sound crazy.
Hear me out.
Great to see you. This is crazy.
I've got a truth potion right here. See? All of this is true. I'm not lying.
I'm not trying to kill you. The person, and when we say one person has to die, and you won't know it's the rat because you don't know the rat's a person.
Yeah, and he says it so angry. He's like, only one will die tonight. It's like, it'll be you. It's like, no. It's Peter Pettigrew.
And there's even a part where you think Lupin and Sirius Black are both bad. So you're like, oh, guys, just communicate.
I do like it because Lupin, you've got to imagine that Lupin has or is at least sort of aware that maybe Sirius claimed that he was innocent, right? You've got to imagine that maybe Lupin at some point heard, Sirius must have testified that he was innocent in whatever trial there was.
Yep.
And so I actually like that moment where Harry says to Professor Lupin, hey, I saw on the map someone that I know is dead, and it's Peter Pettigrew. And then you see this look on Lupin's eyes, and he's like, that's not possible. And he's like, well, that's what I saw, right? And then Lupin, who's Moony, who created the map, knows that the map doesn't lie. Yeah. And I just think that moment, you kind of see Lupin go, oh my God, Sirius is innocent and he was telling the truth. Like, that's what I think he's thinking in that moment.
Yeah, right. Because he's putting it all together.
Yeah, the other thing that I've mentioned on this pod before, but Fred and George, who had the Marauders map before Harry, never noticed that every night next to Ron's bed, there was a man named Peter Pettigrew next to him on the map. And no one ever brought it up, that Peter Pettigrew was just there.
Yeah, because it always just showed it was like Snape, Dumbledore, Malfoy. There's kids. There should be kids everywhere.
Yeah, it's literally Fred and George must be like, oh, Ron, Hermione, Harry, and Peter are out again. Never see that Peter guy. Maybe he's got the invisibility cloak on. He must be ugly. No one ever thinks of it.
Yeah.
The other thing in the book is that you know how Hermione's cat keeps chasing after Wormtail?
Yes.
So
that's a person.
No, but in the book it's implied that the cat knows that it's a person. The cat it's not actually a cat. It's some other species that's like a cat.
Yeah,
but that's more of a.
They do that bit well, I'll say, because the cat versus rat thing and how Ron and Hermione keep arguing. You think it's just in there because
cat and mouse,
just to show they're flirting, because by the end of it. You want them to get together so badly.
Yeah.
I wish there was a whole nother movie after number 7 that was just about Ron and Hermione's life.
Cursed Child has a bit about that.
Yeah, I have seen Cursed Child, but
no, you've seen it.
I've seen the play.
Oh, cool.
But I can't really remember what happens.
Yeah, okay. What about stuff were there any characters that you just didn't know where? Because a lot of characters in the movies just appear, but in the books they've kind of been there the whole time.
Sure.
Yeah,
I've got one. When Mad Eye is Polyjuice Potion
Barney
guy.
Crouch Jr., yeah.
At what point was he like that all year?
Yeah,
was he like
that the whole year?
The whole year?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's again another one that there's so much more on that in the book. So it's kind of like in the movies you almost don't even realize it's the guy from the flashback.
No, yeah.
So you're just like, oh wait, what? But yeah, all of that plot line is a much bigger deal in the book.
Yeah,
a lot.
So Harry never met the Mad Eye.
No.
Right. Okay.
No, and he even says in the next book with Professor Umbridge, he's like, Professor, he's talking about all the past defense against the dark arts teachers, and I think he's like, even Professor Quirrell and Professor Moody were actually pretty good teachers, despite the fact that they were actually evil. Like Professor Quirrell's the guy with the turban.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, he never met the real Moody until the end of the book.
Why has Voldemort got a flat nose?
That one is just because like they say that as he split his soul with the Horcruxes, he just became less and less human. And I guess started to become more snake-like, which, you know, a snake is like the figure of evil in the books.
Yep.
Hey, one thing on the Moody thing that I just realized is that Moody, the real Moody, never actually got a chance to teach the class. And then when that's all unveiled, do you think Dumbledore's just like, it's not working out. We're not going to renew your contract. It's like, but I didn't even get a turn. It's like, yeah, we're going to get someone else next year.
So why would he then teach them? So if he's the bad guy, right? What's the bad guy's name?
Barty Crouch Jr.
He's the bad guy in his body. Why did he want to teach him the spells about killing people?
I think I'm not sure. I think it is part of the curriculum that you learn the unforgivable curse.
No, because Hermione's like, we're not up to that yet. We should not be learning this.
I mean, I think maybe he's just crazy. But yeah, you're not really supposed to see though. I guess you wouldn't learn that. That's like going to school and being like, all right, so this is how you kill someone with a gun, or try it on this spider. So you just fire it in right in the heart. Yeah, that is kind of
as
weird.
well, if you're the enemy of Harry Potter and everybody, like the students, why are you teaching them how to do the spells that are going to kill somebody?
Because like they're also good-hearted, they'd never use the spells, I guess.
Yeah, but like, again, if it's the gun analogy, it's like, I'm trying to kill you, but I come into a class and show
you all
like
my
this is how you load the gun. This is make sure to take the safety off here, and then you just aim it at my heart or aim it at my head,
straight
shoot me
through wherever you want, really. Yeah, no, I'm not sure about that actually. What about like you mentioned Luna Lovegood? You didn't get Luna Lovegood, or you didn't understand?
Oh no, I just thought that was one character I imagined had more to play in the books because in the movies, she was there and they were treating her like, you know, they put a lot of emphasis on her, but for the story of that movie, there was no real point of having her there rather than give Harry another friend who's like gone through trauma of some type.
Yeah. I think in the books she was... I do think she only really becomes a main character in the books in the 5th book, but she's mentioned a couple times in passing. And that's kind of what I did like about the books is that, for example, Scabbers the rat is there from the 1st book and you just think it is a rat and then it becomes such
Do you think she planned them all in advance, or do you think she went back and been like, hey, put that rat in there, maybe I'll make it a human?
I think she had a pretty strong idea of where everything was going to go as it was going. And then I think after... when she started introducing the wizards pooing, vanishing their poo, I think she was like...
That's why I only got to 7 books.
Yeah.
Luna Lovegood at one point in the very last movie, they go to Dumbledore's brother's house and they walk through the painting and back into the school. Luna had just been like released from the prison with them.
Yeah.
And then she's at the school in her school uniform and stuff.
And also in that movie... One thing I hated was Cho Chang is there in uniform, but she was a year above Harry, so she would have graduated the year before.
Oh, maybe she got held back.
Maybe she got in your last year. Yeah. But I think she's also on the train in part 1 when the Death Eaters go on the train. A lot of the last 2 movies were, I think, they were just like trying to get everyone back, and like there's actually one really funny cameo, like blink and you miss it, where do you remember in the first 2 movies there's that guy Oliver Wood who's the captain of the Quidditch team, the Irish guy. In the last movie during the Battle of Hogwarts, he flies past on a broomstick. He's there and you barely see him, but he just flies past in the battle as a cameo.
Oh, right. Yeah. But he's not going to the school anymore. He's just
there for the Battle of Hogwarts. But yeah, just like the last few movies, I think, were just like, let's just get everyone.
And then there's students who just never come back again, like the kid who took photos of Harry Potter and loved him.
Colin Creevey.
And then you just never see him again.
So in the books, in book 4, he has a brother, Dennis Creevey, who also comes to the school. Last book, Colin Creevey dies in the Battle of Hogwarts.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so Colin Creevey. But then there's also a character I think he joins in book 5. He's a character called Nigel with red hair who's like the new annoying young kid who follows Harry around a bit. And he's not in the books at all.
He's not in the movies at all.
Sort of like Colin Creevey. Yeah, he's not in the movies. No, he's not in the books at all.
Oh.
Like he's a character created for the movies that's almost like similar to Colin Creevey.
Wait, I don't remember him. He's in the movies.
Yeah, he's called Nigel. He has red hair. He's in like Order of the Phoenix. He's in Dumbledore's army and stuff.
Oh,
he's
right.
Like a second-year kid who like is around a bit.
Yeah. And then why does Crabbe and Goyle, like one of them just disappears like halfway through and then it's a different kid?
Yeah. So the actor who plays Crabbe was sent to jail for like he first got in trouble with the law because he was like I think either
using magics around muggles.
had possession of like weed or something, like way too much weed to have on your possession. But then he was remember when there was like those London riots a few years ago?
Yeah.
So he was like in the London riots and he like did a lot of damage and he's in jail now. So he wasn't allowed, well, he might be out now. He wasn't allowed to be part of that last film. So they got that other actor who was a character called Blaise Zabini, and he was in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, the movie as well.
Yeah, you'd seen him before, but he wasn't really like his buddy.
Yeah, but he just replaced Crabbe in that. And also,
but in the books, it's meant to be Crabbe and Goyle.
Yeah, so in the book, Crabbe dies in that room with the fire.
Yep.
In the movie, Goyle dies instead.
Yep.
But yeah, so there's a few moments like that where a lot of people who didn't understand why Crabbe wasn't there were just like, "Is that Crabbe?" and just thought they'd change the actor or something.
Yeah. But they made him black, so I thought they were going for like, this is definitely we're not trying to cover up that it's the same
Not
guy.
Crabbe, yeah.
It's just a different friend. You got to trust us. Yeah. There's also like the right at the end that just reminded me of like when they're what's the spell they do to flick the wand out of each other's hands?
Expelliarmus.
Harry Potter says, the reason the wand belongs to me is because Malfoy, Draco Expelliarmus Dumbledore, and then I Expelliarmus him, so the wand is my...
Yeah.
But what if like... Because that's not the wand that he's holding. It wasn't like Draco was holding the Elder Wand. What if like 3 different people had Expelliarmused him?
Yeah. So Dumbledore was the owner of the... No, sorry. Yeah. Dumbledore was the owner. Yep. Malfoy disarmed him. Therefore, Malfoy became the master. Yep. However, Voldemort believes that Snape is because Snape killed Dumbledore. But Voldemort is wrong. But yeah. And then Harry disarms Malfoy.
So do you have to disarm and die? No, obviously, because Draco didn't die. So what if like 3 people disarm Dumbledore in a year? Is it just the one?
But Dumbledore's not going out doing fights.
All those parties you talked about.
So the wand...
Okay,
Malfoy was the Elder Wand's master, then Harry was. And that's why when Voldemort had it, he couldn't kill Harry because the wand would never kill its own master.
So Draco never knew that he was the master of it?
No, Draco never knew.
Okay, but what if it's not impossible to think more than one person would Expelliarmus Draco Malfoy?
Yeah, I wouldn't say so. Like, he was living at home with his parents, like, undercover. He wasn't really going out very much.
But that whole battle at the end?
But Harry took over the wand in Malfoy Manor at the end of Deathly Hallows Part 1. That's when he gets the wand off Malfoy.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it didn't really matter then. Actually, it didn't ever matter if Harry Potter actually owned the wand, was the master of the wand or not, as long as Voldemort's not the master of the wand.
Yeah, but... the wand wouldn't kill Harry because it wouldn't kill its own master. So if he wasn't the master, maybe it would have killed him. Yeah. I'm not really sure. Like, I always felt like the ending was
got him. Finally found his weakness. And that's Harry Potter and the boys for you for another week.
Yeah. Well, that was really fun, Jack. We should do another one of these. And if you think of anything, send them in.
All right.
But yeah, thank you for watching and listening, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
See you, muggles.
Don't say that. Don't.
That was fun.